So you just found out that you have ADHD. First of all, welcome to the family. Secondly, how you feeling? Whenever you get an ADHD diagnosis, many times, there's a lot to unpack there. So let me walk through that with you. You're probably processing a ton right now. I mean, you might be really happy, you might be really angry, and all of that is totally okay. The way that I describe it is that getting an ADHD diagnosis, it's just bittersweet, because on one hand, you have a lot of relief where you realize, okay, I'm not crazy. There is a reason why I've struggled with the things that I have. But on the other hand, you have regret. You probably think to yourself, I wonder what life could have been like if I could have just known earlier that I had ADHD. And if you're feeling that way, just know you're not alone and it's totally natural. While I'm not a therapist, I do think it's really important for us to spend some time unpacking the emotional journey that anyone would go on for any diagnosis or any kind of news that they might get that's gonna totally change their life. The first stage of this journey is most likely shock and denial. So in other words, your whole life you've been told you're doing it wrong, or you might have been thinking to yourself, I'm just lazy, or I'm never gonna be able to figure this out. And now there's this shock, like now you have a reason. It's really important for you to know that it's very common to have overwhelm or disbelief, thinking, how could this be? But just know this is a starting point of a new chapter of your journey, because now you have a reason and you can start understanding more about it. After the shock subsides, you might feel some anger or frustration that are bubbling up. Again, this is totally normal and very reasonable. There's a chance that you're probably gonna have thoughts running through your mind like, why me? This is so unfair. Why does this always happen? Why do bad things always seem to happen to me? And if that's the case, just know it's important to be able to process through these emotions, to be able to not only get past it, but also to acknowledge it. At the beginning of this video, I talked a little bit about that regret component. In this third stage of the journey, which is grief and loss, that's where regret might come up, because you might feel sadness over what could have been. A lot of us with ADHD have that longing for, I wish that I could be normal or neurotypical. And just coming to the realization that that is not the case can be hard sometimes. For example, I know personally when I got diagnosed in high school, I always had this idea that if I could just try a little harder or study a little more, then maybe I could keep up with everyone else. But I just had to come to grips with the fact that that was never going to be the case for me. The fourth step of the emotional journey is acceptance. This is typically where coaching starts to come in. A lot of people will come to me when they're in this stage where they have found out that they've been diagnosed and they're trying to figure out, so what do I do and how does this work? And I tell them that for my coaching, the first step is what I refer to as TUA, or total unconditional acceptance. Realizing that this is just the way that I am and that's okay, because now you have an explanation and you know the why behind the struggles that you're having. So now it's all about figuring out a way to get through that. But in order to build a plan to move forward, you first have to accept that you are the way you are. Once you have acceptance, that's where empowerment starts to grow. And that's my role as a coach. Literally part of the Ryan Mayer coaching mission statement is to empower ADHDers towards their greatness. And you do have greatness inside of you. We can be successful despite having ADHD. And empowerment is all about, now you know you have ADHD, you know why it is, you accept yourself the way you are, and now you start building a team around you, start building plans on how you can leverage those unique strengths that each of us has in order to start making progress towards the life that we deserve. There's a phrase that I love to use, which is, I want to turn my mess into a message. So in other words, you can take the things that have been stumbling blocks for you in the past and turn them into the stepping stones that are going to actually get you to your goal. This emotional journey, everyone's going to go through it in their own unique way, whether they're 10, 25, or 85. So many times people ask the question, why get diagnosed at all? Especially people later in life. And here is the reason why. Let's say you're in your 30s or 40s and you realize you can't quite see that well. So then you think, well, I've gone this long, I may as well just continue on the way that I have my whole life. But wait, what if you could just go get a diagnosis where someone would look at your eyes and realize, oh, you just need a pair of glasses? Wow. That just brought everything into focus. So it's the same thing for your brain. Regardless of what your age is, getting a diagnosis for ADHD can bring everything into focus and help you to see things more clearly. You're gonna see life through a whole new lens. My goal with social media has always been able to just create a movement of ADHD awareness. So if you got some benefit from this, my ask of you is that not only will you hit that thumbs up button, but also that you can gently tap on the subscribe, and most importantly, share this with someone, because we need to spread the awareness around with ADHD. And if you've gone through this journey yourself and you have things that you think would inspire or help others to know they're not alone, please put it in the comments below. So just remember, you're not alone, not anymore. Welcome to the ADHD family. And please keep in mind that I am always here for you. So if you comment below, I'll reply back, and just know you're not broken and ADHD doesn't define you, just part of who you are.